This video is brought to you by Tinker's Hands. The burned fingers, cut thumbs, dirty fingernails, scuffed up old tinkerer putterer, I destroy my hands on stuff company. Yeah, don't burn yourself, especially on a soldering iron. Here it is. Apparently fixing a bunch of equalizers. It's a ADC Sound Shaper 2 MK2 with inductors inside. I'll probably break here and show you, yeah, it kind of does work. And I've got parts of another one because the plan is to make two into one. Don't you hate when you're not recording? So, recreating my own little tag for the next video. Hey, I just worked on a equalizer. Why? I've got more. Got this to work on to try to figure out what's wrong with it. And it gets worse. Because I have another one with its pieces and parts. With all its pieces and parts that I need to work on. And my hopes here is to take one that was completely trashed when I picked it up, as you can see, and another one that doesn't work, and hopefully make one, maybe one that is fully functional. All about these really old inductors. They're fragile, and I don't think the inductors in this one have survived. So I'm hoping they will have here, or at least I can cobble between the two, a working set. This one's actually in better looking condition than, well, obviously that one. But here's the next work I'm going to try and do something with. You guys, well, here's something I can do. It's powered off. So right now it's just passing signal through this one. Here, let me get this one out of the way. It's just passing signal through here. So if I turn up the volume, there it is. And I can shift the signal on and off here. Because there it's looking through for the equalizer, which is not on. And this is just bypass it. I can tell that switch is dirty. So at least I know the pass-through works. That switch works. Don't do anything there. When I found this, it said this one starts upright. It's missing an LED. I just realized there's an LED missing right there. That this one pegs out, so that sounds like a noisy transistor to me. You know, it's just going to signal straight up and stay there. And this one comes up and goes down, which I think these typically do. So turn it on and see what happens. That looked right. That does not. And I should be able to adjust it with that, and it's definitely not doing that. What happens if I, oh wait, level? No. Level? No. So let's see what happens. See, that side's working. That side, not so much. I wanna take it to anywhere, baby. So this side's working. Okay, that's a good sign. This side sounds like it's all working. It's just not coming through the LED right, or the meter right. So let's do a sweep thing. Let's see here. So I'm missing some of the marks. Haha, but this one has it all. So the silk screening is coming off this, but they're all on this one. Well, let's figure it out. Okay, hang on. So 16K. That's going to be an annoying sound. I hear nothing. Okay, so 9K. Here it is. Okay, that works. Okay, so that one works. Okay, next 5. So let's go to 7 or something, 6. So now it should be this. That's good. That's just dirty. So that one works. 3. So let's go down to that one. Definitely does. So that one works. Yay, dirty pots. Yay. This one. That one works. That was working. Yay. Yep. Yep. There it is. There it is. And I'm not going to be able to hear this on the speakers, but let's try it anyway. Oh, I can actually barely make it out. Okay. That means all the crazy inductors in this works. My poor ears can't hear those. I'd have to get the oscilloscope out to see if it's actually doing anything. But even if those don't work, my old ears wouldn't be able to pick it out anyway. I apparently can't hear much over 16. I can only get to 14. Yeah, I can actually make that out. Probably can't make it out on the video. Bring my dog in here. My dog can be able to hear it. All the sliders work. Those connections work. Line level work, because I changed it. This is just supposed to work these. That's just pegged. This seems to be working even though it's missing an LED. Crap, now I don't know what to do. This might just be a figure out the why this is pegged, because it seems to be working everywhere, which is freaking awesome. Okay, now back to it. Let's get into this one and figure out what's going on in terms of missing an LED, dirty pots, but thankfully it looks like it's all functioning, at least that, except for this indicator. So I got to figure out what's going on there. And I got to be gentle because delicate things are on the inside. Let's take it apart first. Yay. Did not expect them to be that long. Small ones back here too. At least they're not as long. Okay, let's see what's going on the inside. Let's be careful though. These guys. These are the delicate parts. But after doing the testing, all of those work. I got to be careful. A lot of people will clean with, whatever and brush really hard, but there's these tiny, itty bitty little wires connected to from this inductor. They don't make these drum inductors anymore except for some foot pedals and guitar amps. There's these tiny little wires, and if they break, they're nearly impossible to fix. So I'm glad all those are working, but to get to the LED down here, see what's going on with that, this has to come off. So I got to be careful. These pots down here are the adjustments for the LEDs. Guess I could investigate to see if those are doing anything. I should look at all the capacitors, but get in here, it's going to be a little interesting because I got to be careful. Front panel off. Okay, the front panel comes off. We have to take all these guys. Thankfully, they just slip right off. There's just a lot of them. Before I get too involved in this, let's see. I can't just figure out what's going on with this guy, with the adjustment pots. Let me make note of where they are first. Okay, you are at 2 o'clock, you're at 11 o'clock. Those I'm not going to touch. So let's see if I do. You. Nothing. Oop, wait. Yeah, okay. So that is at least responding. Let's put you back. And now you're the other one here. Let's see. And you're at 11 o'clock. So you're not that one. So what could be the issue? Let's figure that out. But it's definitely this one. Okay, so now the dials come off. You had a washer. You didn't have a washer. Interesting. Somebody has been in here before. Yeah, somebody's definitely been in this, because these screws are all over the map. Some have washers, some don't, some are different colors, but that's okay. You should just come off. Yeah, there we go. Okay. It should expose the LED. So this should be the LED cluster up here. And it is. Doesn't appear to be missing an LED, but it is not functioning. So I need to unscrew you guys. Is there enough room there? There is. Okay. Take you out. Take you out. And then you should just lift up or out. There we go. And yeah, that was just broken. So that one got broken when somebody was probably trying to work on the inside. Thankfully, I have a replacement. So let me find it. In fact, I have a bunch of replacements. As I said, I have 2 of these. So here's my parts donor. This is the one that's in much worse condition. It came kind of all apart already. So I'm going to borrow an LED from here and put it over there, because that is the way this is going to happen. As you can see, this one, again, has those inductors, but what's going on with that one? I've been in here before just testing things, and I've marked ones that I think are broken, this one, because they're not doing anything. And I think there's been some bodging, because that is not happening in the other one, or this. So it looks like an attempt was made to just kind of turn one slider into 2. So yeah, the story of this one is going to be a thing. So right now, this is my donor parts. Come on, desolderer. We will take you out over here. So you're 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 right in the middle. There we go. That's interesting. That LED looks different than these. These have little square bases. This one has a round base. This old one has a round base rather than the square one of these. You're going to come out and you're going to go over here. There we go. And I do you about the same distance. So when I do put you in, I need to make sure I do it to the same depth, because it's got to go back in all those little holes. That's why that one didn't work. It be busted. I need more hands. I need more hands. If I get one tacked, then I can probably let it go. Okay. Okay, that seems good. Now, if we plug you in and turn you on, you should at least flash at me. Well, let's see if you flashed. Yes, you did. Aha. So there's my replacement. Since I have a better faceplate, I can put it back on rather than one with silk screening that's not there very well. Just have to get you back in, which is not exactly easy. They all have to line up with the holes. Okay, that was easy. They all lined up with holes. Okay, one LED fixed. Oh, look at there. You were glued back on. Well, guess what? I have a switch. Okay, so we're not done. Do I want to do that now, or do I want to figure out the other thing? I'm finding out things about this one as I go along. So somebody was definitely in this one in the past trying to fix it. But that switch is busted. Yes, it is. I have a switch to replace. That's going to be fun. Okay, switch replacing. Suddenly it's become more of a hassle. That should move the switch out of the way, and it does. Okay, let's see, what do I have to do? Yeah, that's just a little plastic thingy. I wonder if I can just remove the plastic thingy, not the whole switch. Here's my donor over here. Let's see what I can do with this. What can I do with that? How does it? Let's break this one before I break that one. This one's already been broke. I think that swapping the switch might just be the better deal. Less chance of me breaking stuff. Okay, let's see. Yes, 250 volt, 250. That's the exact same switch. So let's switch a switch. So white in black, white in back, red in front. That one, red in front. The capacitors, I think, just for thump. And this is how you burn your hands. There we go. Now, since this switch is completely foobarred, keep it for future reference to see if I can't figure out how to take this apart. You have to go over here and replace take this one out. Now to desolder you. Well, that one was easy. Okay, I'm just going to snip you. Here. And you come back over here. So white in back, and then red at front. And I need to do red through here, all for a new switch. Okay, you are thoroughly done. And now we solder you. You all connected. You are all connected. Okay. You have been replaced. Success. Hopefully you flashed on and off over here. Yes, you did. Okay. So you're doing exactly what you should be doing, except for that LED display. So that's going to take some interesting thought process. So now back to this. Let's put on the faceplate. So again, you are going to go in here, lined up in your little holes, which you are now lined up in. Okay, now you can go back on. So I wiggle you all in, almost like so. So it's not lined up yet. There we go. Let's put a temporary screw up here. Temporary screw right there to hold everybody in place. Now, how to figure out what's going on wrong back here. Okay, so that was these guys. So the side that's misbehaving is these connections here. So what could be happening with those connections there? What to do, what to do, what to do. Already gone through all the sliders. I know they're working. I know all the inductors are working. So I don't think it's a problem with anything other than the LEDs. I know I have to clean some pots and everything. Meter needs to be out. That'll be the meter. So this should be set up to do stuff. Okay, current state of affairs. The ADC Sound Shaper 2 MK2. As you can see, it's a mess. It's been probably a month since I've been able to do anything with work, life, teaching, committee work, advising, all kinds of things going on. Kid's 19th birthday. There's been no time for this kind of thing. However, you can tell I've definitely had to get into the weeds of what the chips are doing in the circuit and other chips and how they're configured and what's supposed to go into them and how they work and what parts of the circuit in green are working and what parts of the circuit in red are not, labeling connections on switches and using a schematic that doesn't quite match what is actually done, and trying to figure out why when you plug it in, all of these LEDs stay on. And I've gone through and replaced a bunch of things in this, and I haven't figured it out. I don't know why. Every time I think, oh, that's going to be it, that ain't it. So I'm just continually going through and trying to follow the voltages. I do know on the wonderful diagram here, everything in red again is these guys, and that's the part of the circuit that's not working right. Getting too much voltage into this side of the little op amp area here, and this variable resistor up here, which kind of sets how the comparisons of the voltages are are being sensed in these op amps is just not working. I can crank this sucker all the way up and eventually get this side of the circuitry to work, but these voltages are just too high and this isn't adjusting it. And when I pull that variable resistor out, it's fine. I can even swap these two and it works. And I can swap these two and it works. So I haven't figured it out yet because, again, every time I track it down, oh, that's going to be the issue. And I change it out. It's not the issue.